Brother, there's far too many of you.
Dr. Michael Kaufman, filmmaker, author, big part of Endgame, Blueprint for Global Enslavement. Let's talk about from their own documents. And you can go over in a general way and then go back through details if you want. We covered a lot in Endgame 1.5 that's up on prisonplanet.tv. You can go through all the documents there. What life will be like under these people. You know, A, who they are, what they believe, the bizarre occultic earth worship that dominates all of it, this population reduction cult that runs it. Turns out, I didn't even know this. I was doing more research on Henry Paulson. Turns out he's the biggest contributor to Nature Conservancy, involved in land grabbing, part of weird religious cults. There was an article called The Secret Life of Henry Paulson that was in like Money Magazine. I'm going from memory. Folks can pull that up. And everywhere you turn a rock over, there are these occultists who always claim that they're atheists, and they believe, well, it's in the United Nations Biological Diversity Assessment. It's in my film, Road to Tyranny, where they say we need to reenact human sacrifice. This is official UN policy. And again, that sounds nuts, folks. We're not the one writing it. We're the ones reporting it. So who these people are and what life will be like under them.
Real crazy thing. In fact, that's one of the reasons they've been so successful, because people just cannot believe us when we tell them that these people are true pantheists and basically want to rid the world of 2/3 of the human population. They don't care how it's really done as long as they can do it efficiently. They don't want to expose themselves too soon or they'll lose the power to do it. But it's really basically a fundamental pantheistic religion. Now, what is pantheism? Pantheism is the belief that basically nature is God. There's a lot of other caveats.
And the load of the earth is what all government decisions must be made by.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then they set the load of the earth. They set the load of the earth at a false low level to make humans, quote, bad, as the head of the CFR, Club of Rome writer, Richard N. Haas said.
Absolutely. Every law, in fact, former Vice President Gore said this in his book, Earth in the Balance, that every law has to be conformed to protect Mother Earth at its best state, which is basically without human beings. And that's why they basically say that the population of the human population of Earth must be reduced to between 1 and 2 billion people. They believe that we cannot leave any kind of ecological footprint on the Earth. These guys are really fanatics, but they're also very smooth. And it's hard to tell exactly who's being fanatical and who's just being following the leader type of thing in the elite. But for instance, I'll just give you one of the examples. One of Governor Nelson Rockefeller's daughters, I'm trying to think of her name. I'll think of it hopefully before I finish with this. But she was giving a speech at one of the environmental grant makers meetings back in 1992, and I have the recordings of all the speeches given at that particular meeting. It's done in secret. They're not supposed to be able to tell anybody from the outside what is going on and so forth. But she literally talks about being up on the 42nd story of her New York apartment on Park Avenue, and she can feel Mother Earth, the vibrations of Mother Earth, assuaging her psyche and so forth, and how she can contact Mother Earth. Now, this is the Rockefeller family. Stephen Rockefeller, her brother, is basically behind the Convention on Biological Diversity, all of the environmental organizations. He basically was in charge of writing the Earth Charter, which we stopped in Johannesburg, South Africa.
But it's key to add, in reality, they are hardcore people who love death and destruction and are always financing GMO destruction of something that could be irreversible, or that could be irrevocable. The chimera cross-species plant and animal creations that are already wreaking true havoc. The Earth can deal with volcanoes and explosions and even toxic waste. That's just bad for humans and animals, so I'm against it. So they're never really about environmentalism. That's what's sick. It's an anti-human bloodlust.
It really is, and that's what the Convention on Biological Diversity and the Convention on Climate Change is really designed to do, is to basically stop us dead on our track from any progression and to actually bring us back to a pre-Columbian culture in which man has little impact on planet Earth. It's an astonishing thing. When I introduced this map to the U.S. Senate floor in 1994, showing what the Convention on Biological Diversity was designed to do, it literally sent the U.S. Senate into shock. And Senator Mitchell, who was the majority leader at the time, while he's a Democrat, he's also, and I don't agree with many of his policies, but at least he's an honest individual. He pulled that treaty from being on the ratification right off the calendar. It was never voted on because it was so horrible.
Thank God for you, Dr. Kaufman. Another example of solutions, lots of little solutions. Of course, not letting them totally take the U.S. over. That was a huge solution, but that's it. Little people doing lots of little things together, having a huge effect. That's your solution. Stay there, Dr. Kaufman. We'll be right back.